Hello there, friends. Welcome once again to the YouTube channel. Listen, we have some information that just came down the pipe, and I need to keep you updated on this subject as we are looking at what's being fulfilled in the light of Bible prophecy to see where things are going. That's the purpose we are making these videos prophetically, keeping our eyes on the signs of the times, but at the same time, let us not lose sight of Jesus Christ. What we have on our list is Pope Leo XIV, and I got some information that you need to pay attention to. I'm going to share a number of that with you. There is a video that speaks a little bit about his ethnicity. In this video, we have his brother speaking out. The next thing that I have for you here, and again, we're going directly to the Vatican archives for this one, meeting with the cardinals. This is serious information. You need to hear this because the entire plan is pretty much exposed in this particular document here where he addressed the cardinals, which I think some things there will make a lot more sense to you as well. In this news article, the Catholic Church, we are talking about transcriber Pope Leo XIV for a speech after election, peace be with you. Let's highlight the part in green that we have on our screen right now. Pope Francis clearly had his eyes on Prevost, and in many ways saw him as his heir apparent. He brought Prevost to the Vatican in 2023 to serve as a powerful head of the office and vet bishops' nominations from around the world, one of the most important jobs in the Catholic Church. And in January, he elevated him into the senior ranks of cardinals. As a result, Prevost had a prominence going into the conclave that few other cardinals had. So Pope Francis pretty much tapped him on the shoulder ahead of time to continue the legacy that he has set up. Legacy, keep that term in mind. So another quick video that speaks about is ethnicity. Let me play that on the screen right now. Listen to what this young lady is saying.
Pope Leo XIV's grandparents were New Orleans 7th Ward Creoles, and his family goes back hundreds of years in Louisiana. I'm Devin Bartolotta with WWL Louisiana. I am a genealogy nerd, and I did some digging. This is the new Pope's grandparents' marriage record. Louise Baquet and Joseph Martinez were married in 1887. He had immigrated to New Orleans from Haiti during childhood. Louise had grown up in the 7th Ward. You can see it up here. This is her family on the 1870 census and the 1880 census. This is the 1900 census, so just a few years after Joseph and Louise were married, and they were living in a home on Prieur Street with 2 daughters. This home was torn down to build the Claiborne Overpass. By 1910, their family had really grown. They had a house full of daughters. They were living in a place on South Peters Street in the French Quarter at this time, and shortly after this 1910 census was taken, they would move the whole family from New Orleans to Chicago, and they would have another little girl. Her name was Mildred, and one day she would become the mother of the now Pope Leo XIV.
Interesting. Now let's listen to this video here where his brother is speaking out. He's telling you what to expect from Pope Leo XIV. Listen carefully.
So I think he will follow in St. Francis. Pope Francis.
I was going to say, how is he different from Pope Francis? Or will he be different?
I don't know that you'll see a big difference. He met Pope Francis before he was Pope when he was in Argentina and my brother was in Peru. So that's how the connection began. I think they kind of believed in the same issues. So I don't know that there'll be much difference. He might prove me wrong, but I don't see there'll be much of a tradition breaking the tradition of Pope Francis.
There won't be much difference between him and Pope Francis, okay? Now, let's turn over to the article that I spoke to you guys about. This was posted just about 2 days ago. We're talking about the 10th of May, 2025, address of the Holy Father, meeting with the College of Cardinals. So this is one of his first meetings with them, and he is pretty much laying out the plan. Speaking to the cardinals, Pope Leo XIV said this: I greet you all with gratitude for this meeting and for the day that preceded it. Days that were sad because of the loss of the Holy Father. Pope Francis, and demanding due to the responsibilities, was confronted together, yet at the same time, in accordance with the promise Jesus himself made to us, days rich in grace and consolation in the Spirit. So there is an extreme, profound respect for Pope Francis. I want you to keep that in mind. So let's go a little bit further down now. He went on to speak a little bit. He is taking on, and I want you to keep this in mind, he is taking on the title, the Vicar of Christ once again. There's been a lot of popes, particularly Pope Francis, shied away from that title, as many Protestants and Seventh-day Adventists expose there is something wrong with that title in connection to 666. Many popes actually try to stay away from that. Even Pope Benedict XVI also tried to stay away from that. But we are told he is acknowledging that title itself. Now, and again, the name Pope Francis is mentioned again. And I want you to notice something. There is a profound respect that he has for Pope Francis. So highly likely he's going to pattern his papacy after that of Pope Francis. Now, let's continue now. I'm highlighting a few things. The ones in green are highly important. The ones in blue, I want to share some thoughts on. Here is the thing. Beginning with St. Peter, and up to myself, its unworthy successor. The Pope has been a humble servant of God and of his brother and sister, and nothing more than this. So what does that mean? He is accepting the succession, the apostolic succession that the Catholic Church often speak about, right? Peter was the first Pope, and they pass it down and so on. I don't believe that. I don't agree with that as a Protestant. But nevertheless, this is what they believe. Now, so he's accepting that. It has been clearly seen in the example of so many of the predecessors and many recently by Pope Francis himself. In his example of complete dedication to service, to sober simplicity of life, his abandonment to God throughout his ministry, and his sincere trust at the moment of his return to the Father's house. Well, we can do a whole nother Bible study about what happens to a person when they die, but let's move on. That's not the point. Let us now, and I want you to notice the next few words. Let us take up this precious legacy and continue on the journey inspired by the same hope that is born of faith. So which legacy is that? The legacy of Pope Francis. He is taking this on, and he's going to continue what the Pope has been doing. So this is something to keep in mind. I want to go further down when you get to some more meat of the whole thing. Now, by the way, this article is going to be in a description below if you want to take a listen to that and come to your own conclusion as well. So the first thing we notice is that he is taking on the legacy of Pope Francis. Here is another piece of evidence as well. He went on to say, in this regard, I would like also to renew together today our complete commitment to the path that the Universal Church has now followed for decades in the wake, listen now, of the Second Vatican Council. Whoa, this is a mouthful. He is letting you know once again, the Second Vatican Council is the legacy of Pope Francis, that he is going to implement some of the same principles in the Second Vatican Council. Now, we are told also, we made reference to Pope Francis. Pope Francis masterfully and concretely set it forth in the Apostolic Exhortation Evangelii Gaudium, from which I would like to highlight several fundamental points. They return to the primacy of Christ in proclamation. So, he's going to exalt Jesus in the midst of this. He's going to exalt conversion, missionary conversion, entire Christian community, and so on. But keep in mind, Pope Francis' legacy in the Second Vatican Council, Pope Leo XIV is going to follow suit. This is what we are told. Now, he also went on to say, courageous and trusting dialogue with the contemporary world in its various components and realities. Now, you hear this? I hope you are listening. Not only we have the Second Vatican Council, but he is explaining which part of the council is also going to implement dialogue. Ecumenical dialogue, interfaith dialogues is going to continue. So there is the same legacy of Pope Francis. Listen, Pope Leo XIV is a 2.0 Pope Francis. I will say he may be even more effective because he speaks fluent English. And the fact he is an American and speak fluent English, he is going to garner a lot more attention and respect from US politicians and the people around the globe as well. So keep that in mind. From my perspective, this Pope is going to be even more effective than Pope Francis was. He also made mention of Pope Benedict the 16th. He referenced him. So he's looking at his predecessors, saying Pope Francis, Pope Benedict. He even made reference to John Paul II as well. Now, here is another piece. Seeing myself called to continue in the same path, I chose to take the name Leo XVI. So he took the name because he wants to continue in the same path, carrying out the legacy of Pope Francis, continuing in the Second Vatican Council, ecumenical dialogues, interfaith dialogues to bring this work to an end. So I hope you are listening now. Now he made another application. He went on to say, there are different reasons for this, but mainly because Pope Leo XIII, in his historic encyclical Rerum Novarum, addressed the social question in the context of the first great and industrial revolution. So now, Pope Leo XIII, he is now Pope Leo XIV, is making reference to Rerum Novarum. Listen, I did a video where I looked in that document and what it addresses. There's some things in there you and I can agree with. When it comes to labor, addressing socialism. There was also a pushback against capitalism in there as well. Talks about some of the pros and the cons when it comes to that. But he is a social pope, Pope Leo XIII, the labor pope. I did an hour and 20 minutes presentation yesterday on this matter. Go look at it. It's called A Prophetic Shift. You can find this on my channel where I went really deep into the history of this pope and what he believes and so well. But Rerum Novarum, there's a part in that document where there is a call for Sunday enforcement in relation to the labor union as well. Am I saying this pope is going to do the same thing? I don't know, but this is what history says. We have to keep an eye on things as they're fulfilling Bible prophecy. Now, here is another thing, friends. For the defense of the human dignity, justice, and labor. So he's gonna be part of the social justice movements, obviously. And we know that this pope is pro-immigration.
Both the first reading and the gospel make very clear a message which Pope Francis has been hammering home time and again since his very first trip as Pope, when he went to this little community, an island in southern Italy, the town of Lampedusa, where all these immigrants continue to come. It's a huge problem, and it's a problem worldwide, not only in this country. There's got to be a way both to solve the problem, but also to treat people with respect. Every one of us, whether we were born in the United States of America or on the North Pole, we all are given that gift of being created in the image and likeness of God. And the day we forget that is the day we forget who we are. We forget who Christ has called us to be.
He sees things differently, but he has traditional aspect as far as marriage, anti-abortion is concerned. He took on the vestment of the church 2,000 years before as far as wearing the regular vestments that when he came out, which says a lot to many Catholics in the ways that they interpret this matter. But what we are understanding thus far is this: Pope Leo XIV is going to carry out the legacy of Pope Francis. He believes in the same principles of Pope Leo XIII, Novarum. He is going to be a social labor, restoring the economy in the hope of bringing back Catholicism to his former glory. There is that goal in mind as well. But what we are also told, this Pope is going to carry out the same principles that are found in the Second Vatican Council, ecumenical dialogue, interfaith dialogues. And I believe, this is my opinion now, he's going to be more effective. He speaks English. He's from Chicago. And some people are saying his ethnicity, he's got some blackness in him. That means something for a lot of people in this country. And to top it off, the man is young. Friends, let's keep an eye on this thing. And as we see things are being fulfilled, I will share things with you. We're keeping an eye on the signs of the times, and I will fill you up as I discover more. Send me some information as well. Anyway, friends, I would like to hear from you. Where do you stand when you come to this Pope? Where do you position yourself? Agree and disagree, like and dislike? Do you see what I see? Keep in mind, things could change just like that anytime as well. Circumstances are happening, signs of the times, events, and certain pressures could also lead the man to go a different direction that he might be saying right now. But one thing to keep in mind, based on what he said today, he plans on carrying out Pope Francis. This is Pope Francis' legacy 2.0, but even more effective in nature. I would like to hear from you. Do you agree or disagree with me? Comment below. Share your thought or perspective with me. Share some things with me as well as you discover more, and I will share with you as much as I find out. Friends, Christ is coming again. The prophecies are taking place. Let's keep an eye on the signs of the times, and we keep our eyes and hearts on our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Share your thought with me. Until next time, have a good one. Bye.